how would one activate these dormant layers of their energy and of their consciousness? I can say with confidence, I have tried everything I could possibly try, and every practice, every modality, every methodology, assuming it's authentic, is doing the exact same thing. It's taking you from that karmic limitation, those biological constraints, as well as the soul level constraints, and accelerating you towards what you're meant to experience in this lifetime, and making you more attuned and powerful in the process. I used to not be able to sense crystal energies. I thought that they were simply inert pieces of matter, and in a matter of years, I've gone from picking up a crystal and feeling nothing and believing that it's just a visualization practice, to being able to hold this one in my hand and feeling crazy energetic activations in my crown and in my third eye. It feels like I'm using a psychedelic. And different practices that I have tried have had different kinds of effects on me. Some of them have stabilized my energy. Some of them have made me less compulsive. Others have felt like more like true activations. And they all work synchronistically, and they all synergize with each other. And it's what I'd like to share with you that's very important to understand is, even though there are different kinds of traditions and different kinds of practices, even though one teacher may tell you that there are 5 energy bodies, and another teacher may tell you there are 7, and someone else might speak about the light body, it's all the same thing. Different practices, different practitioners, different traditions, they've simply mapped it and modeled it in a different way. But your journey is always your own. No one can control your journey, and certainly no one has a right to control your journey. Your karma is your own. And in my experience, the most powerful tool, the most powerful methodology that I have worked with is the Akashic Records. And I'm excited to announce on the show that I am releasing my Akashic Records services. There are a couple of key different things that the Akashic Records can do for you. One is that they can give you specific information on your life, your path, and your karma. They'll let you know where you're stuck. They'll let you know where you're meant to go. They can literally answer anything. Anything you can think of, the Akashic Records can answer. They're limited only by the mind and preconceptions of your reader. And believe me, your reader, jackdavis, I have been around the block. I know how these things work. I know how different practices work. I'm grounded in science and intellect, and I'm also open energetically. And I can confirm and I can say to you with confidence that my journey with the Akashic Records activated for me in a matter of months what the rest of my spiritual path and practice took years to do. It's an incredibly rapid modality. It's not really a modality, and it's not really the Akashic Records. That's just a name that we give to it. It's a dimension of consciousness that's far beyond even the traditions of spirituality that we have on Earth. We're always just tapping into something and trying to understand it as best as we can. And what I love about the Akashic Records is that they're non-denominational. They work with any guides, any concept, any path, any guru, any teacher, any ascended master. There's nothing out there that is higher dimensional than the Akashic Records. The model that we use when we talk about the Akashic Records is this 3D into 5D model, the Akashic Records beginning in the 5th dimension, but then this 5D into 12D model, having this understanding that ultimately consciousness is one, so to speak. Ultimately, source consciousness is singular. And at the 12th dimension, there is no separation, there is no fragmentation. And as you go down from 12D into 5D, there are more and more layers of separation, there's more and more diversity, there's more and more individuation. And as you get down then into 5D and 3D, it's a very physical-like experience. It feels very dense. And the Akashic Records are activating you on whatever level you need to be activated on. There's a reason that this episode was on karma and Kundalini. Karma is your limitation, And Kundalini is the way in which you activate it. And the Akashic records work with Kundalini just as everything else works through Kundalini, because Kundalini is just a name for this life force that's permeating through all dimensions of consciousness. With that in mind, if you're interested in accelerating your path, accelerating your ascension, accelerating your spiritual awakening, if you're interested in getting unstuck, unblocked, and being put on the path that you're meant to be in this lifetime, I would strongly recommend that you sign up with me for an Akashic Records mentorship. My mentorships are offered 3 months at a time, and you'll benefit from all of the knowledge of my mind, all of my practical experience and guidance, all of the practices and tools that I've learned about I can share with you. And of course, we can read your Akashic records. You'll be connecting not to me, but to your guides and to your records and to your higher self. And the records are not just about information, they're about activation. I have finally stepped into my path after a few months of working with the Akashic records. Hi, I'm Jack from the future, just popping in to finish this podcast episode. Wow, I've learned quite a lot making this podcast episode, and I don't at all mean about the mechanics of video production. I've been going through what I've been sharing with you, and your spiritual path, your Kundalini awakening, it's never static. You never finish. And through the course of filming this episode and recording it in a couple of batches and releasing shorts the whole way through, I've really discovered more about how my persona interacts with the collective, certain things that certain people seem to take issue with, specifically clothes that I wear, or the fact that I'm white or younger than a lot of teachers in the spiritual space. And it's been good. It's been a great experience, and I've really learned to back myself through this, and that I can be more confident in what I've been through. Spirituality is no longer something for a monk in Tibet or a yogi in the Himalayas alone. It's for all of us, and it's for all of us to pursue consciously if we so choose. And I feel good about the choices I'm making at this stage. I'm obviously not bound by the choices I'm making forever, but I think it's good to have fun and not take yourself so seriously. And the more that you can literally not dress like you're some kind of a guru and that you're some kind of a normal person who's having fun, I think that's honest and authentic. And I will continue to be honest and authentic as I go forth with this project. And to put it simply, I'll stay humble, but I know that I have a lot to offer, and I know that my perspective and my words and my voice are just as valuable as the people who I react to, and that my services, the modalities that I use, just the intellectual work, the guidance that I do, the skills that I have as an academic and as an educator, they have value. And you'll go through the same thing. As you consciously work with your karma, and you play with your conditioning, keep what you need, get rid of what you don't need, step onto the path that is really your highest path, your highest contribution to the world, your most self-actualized life, you'll go through the exact same stuff. And it doesn't happen in a single moment. It's been 5 years for me to get from being mostly unconscious. You could argue it was 7, you could argue it's been my whole life, but it's been 5, years of really focusing on this to get here. And I'm only just starting, and it will never end. So that's my summation of karma and Kundalini. You can see what it looks like as a work in progress for me, and you can taste and consider what it will look like as a work in progress for you. And I just wanted to end this episode in a really raw, authentic manner, as a bit of a time capsule to reflect to my core audience, because I know that this is going to stay accessible over time, exactly what it was like to be me navigating this stage of my path. And you just commit and accept and focus on what you know is right for you. And I don't mean delusion, I don't mean ego, I don't even mean intuition. You just do whatever you know works. If that's a practice, if that's a non-practice, if that's a state of consciousness, if it's choiceless awareness, whatever it is for you that you know is really your guiding light, connecting to your higher self, you just do that. You don't worry about other people's reactions. There's no obligation to be liked. There's no obligation to be respected. The only thing that you need to make sure you do is fulfill your highest life path. That's what you owe yourself. It's why you're here, and it's what we need. Everything else is irrelevant. So yeah, hope you learned a lot and enjoyed this very simple introduction to karma and Kundalini. These are terms that are going to remain relevant over the longer term. Thank you so much. I'm Jack Davis. This has been Starsight Live.